Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Welcome to Saints TV Weekly for September 26, 2022. So the weekend just gone, let's just quickly get through it. We don't need to talk about it. Congratulations, blah, blah, blah. Geelong, you're amazing. You win another flag. All the jokes about St Kilda and Joel Selwood, great. You know, that's going to continue forever. So that's done. We don't need to talk about that too much. Seriously though, the best team probably won it. Very envious. We've got a bit of work to do to get to that point. And hopefully our coaches, our players watched that game very closely and saw what it takes to really become not only a premiership winning team for 1 year, but to be a team that can sustain it for the last decade and more. Bit of work to do in this off season, but congratulations Geelong, all that crap. They win another flag. Their fans can continue to be very happy and arrogant for the next million years. Now, let's get into some news. So the 150th anniversary for St Kilda. 2023, it's a big year for the club, our 150th anniversary. And as such, the club has launched a commemorative crest. So that was dropped, I think, it might have been Friday. I can't remember, Thursday or Friday. There were some photos circulating on Reddit and Big Footy. I believe Unplugged were the first to release it, so good on them. I think it's, I'll put an image up of it. That's what it looks like. Some people really like it. Some people don't. I'm kind of in the middle on it. I kind of wish that we somehow kept the, obviously, strength through loyalty on it. I feel like that's kind of what summarizes the supporter base in the club better than anything. Strength through loyalty, not strength through success or strength through multiple premierships. It's just we're very loyal. We stick around through the hard times and we hope for the best every single year. So I feel like stripping the crest of that strips it of a bit of its character, a bit of the history. And overall, I don't mind it. I think a lot of people think it's a bit basic, but I don't think crests need to be changed too much for the 150th year anniversary. I think if anything, the Guernsey would be really cool to see what designs they're going to come up with for that, because I know that they have got some, special 150 year anniversary Guernseys in the works based on what Sinks mentioned on the potty a couple of weeks ago. So that's the crest. I do like the video that they put together of it, and I think the rebranding is really cool. And obviously not everyone's going to love the crest, no matter what the club does, whether it's closer to what we've got at the moment or a bit different. That is the crest. That's what we're going with, whether you like it or not. It's a big year for the club. Let's hope that we can really turn things around and have a big year on the field. We really need to deliver, whether it's our 150th year or not. I think we're all expecting, hopefully, some sort of improvement. That's kind of the goal every single year. Nonetheless, in our 150th year, it'd be really fitting to put in a really good performance on the footy field and hopefully make finals and go from there. But a lot to work through until that can happen. Last week was also our previous CEO, Matt Finnis. He finished up. His last day was last week, I believe. He's done an amazing job at the footy club, obviously. Facilities, getting us back to our grassroots of the footy club. He's done a great job there. We all know that Simon Lethlean is the new CEO to be. His first day would be today, I guess. So it'll be interesting to see what he tackles first with the footy club being, I guess, a bit of a middle ground at the moment. And the new news on top of that, outside of just Matt Finnis finishing up and Simon Lethlean being the new CEO, is that we've got a new head of football. We're talking about a possible announcement for new head of football. Whether, it's going to be someone like a Jeff Walsh. That was rumoured and discussed on Footy Classified last week. Eddie Maguire thinks, or at least he's pretty confident that Jeff Walsh could be the man for the job. And I don't mind that at all. I posted that last week about it, that he could be the favourite for the new position as head of football. And I think we need a guy like him. We need a tough nut. We need a guy that's no bullshit. We need someone that's been there and done that. And for people that don't know him or question whether his credentials are good enough or not, just look at the time he was at North. They won a flag. They made prelims. They were respected. They played tough footy. whether they were top of the ladder for a sustained period or not doesn't matter. They did win a flag and they made prelims. So we would take that in a heartbeat. And then he was at Collingwood from 2006 to I think 2020, 2021. We all know from that point on, they made multiple prelims, multiple grand finals. They won a flag. 2018, they made another grand final, should have won it. And so the times that he was at both clubs was the times where they were, top of the ladder and competing and challenging for flags. So I think if we can get someone like Jeff Walsh in, would be absolutely amazing. We need someone that can set a standard from the very top to the very bottom. We haven't really had that consistently in the last 10 years. And I think if we can land someone like him, whether it's him or not, we need someone that really wants to drive standards on field from the very top, filters through all the way through the coaching staff, through to the players. So I think if he can be the one that's announced this week, supposedly the new head of football will be announced this week. If it's Jeff Walsh, I will be very happy. Now for some trade talk. We won't go into too much because I've got a new series. 2 videos have dropped last week. We talked about Hunter Clark, Jack Bartelt, and Ben Long being traded out and what we could get back for them. And then late last week, I dropped a video, the Jordan De Goey situation, an update on where that sits. I believe that every day that goes by that he doesn't re-sign with Collingwood, particularly this week, is another day, another step closer to getting him inking that contract as a St Kilda player. It is very, very close. It's very, very tight at the moment. Obviously, he's got the behavioural clause from Collingwood, and he and his agent are not happy about that. That is something that is stopping him from signing at Collingwood. In terms of the deal, it's 4 years from us, I think, at about 800, 850, 5 years at about 800, 850 from Collingwood. So it's not too different. They think the extra year is going to get him over the line, but they're silly because the behavioural clause is really the be-all and end-all. If that's gone, he probably signs with Collingwood. If that stays, I think he probably becomes a St Kilda player. So there's a full video on that, full video on all the trade news at the moment and any big news that drops in the next week or two. The trade window officially opens next week, I believe. I'll be dropping videos whenever there is news, Sainers. So keep an eye out. The new series, Trade Talk, exclusively on the Saints TV YouTube channel. So all of that will be there. In terms of AFLW news, the girls went down pretty badly to Geelong on the weekend, or at least on Thursday night, I think it was last week, so it seems like an eternity ago. I won't go into that too much because Sarah will be back hopefully Tuesday, Wednesday with the Saints TV W show, and she'll be talking about that in full, the full aftermath of that disappointing loss to Geelong on the weekend at GMHBA Stadium. Question time. This is always a good time. Well, not always a good time because sometimes the questions are pretty depressing, but we'll get into it nonetheless. This one is from Thomas. Any end of season or pre-season before round 1 Saints TV fan meetups in the works? Yeah, we're going to hopefully do that, particularly because we wrapped up the potty last week, so it's a bit sad that there won't be a Saints TV podcast for a little while yet. We've got a few sort of sporadic or spontaneous potential interviews lined up in the off-season, so if those happen, those will drop on YouTube. But yeah, we do want to have a bit of a meetup, whether it's like a pub meetup, we can all catch up, come down, have a beer with us, have a chat, talk Saints footy, dissect the season and what's to come in the off season and 2023 and beyond. That'd be amazing. We'd love to kind of meet up with a lot of the people that send in messages and I guess put a face to a name would be great. So yeah, that'll definitely be in the works, Thomas. We'll probably announce that in the next couple of weeks if we can. This one's from Liam. If we don't get Jordan De Goey, are we finished? It's a bit of a big one. No, we are not finished. I'm not putting all my hopes. I'm not putting all my hopes on any particular player, whether it's Jordan De Goey or anyone else. If we get De Goey, great. We're probably better off in the midfield. If we don't, obviously we'll have other options and we'll look at that and whether that's growing from, the players we've got already or still looking for other big names that maybe we haven't thought of yet, that maybe people don't think are keen on leaving, but maybe we can dangle a bit of a carrot in front of them. Could be something as well because we will probably open up a fair bit of salary cap with, Brad Hill being out, Dan Hanbury finishing up, Geary retiring, Paddy Ryder out. There's a lot of players that are on some pretty good money that are probably not going to be at the club next year. So we'll have a bit of money to spend there. If it's not with Jordan De Goey, probably be with someone else. Cooper is asking, do you think we could go for Matt Crouch if the Jordan De Goey trade doesn't happen? Matt Crouch is probably one that I think if we did want to get him, we probably could get him pretty easily. Obviously, with the link with his brother, Brad Crouch, and the fact that, he's potentially on the out at Adelaide. I don't think he's a player that we need. I don't think he's a player that will take us to the next level. I think Jordan De Goey would be a better pick. He'd be, he's more of the game breaker, a player that we don't really have in that, I guess, in that sort of style, the way he plays. Matt Crouch, we've got a few too many kind of like him, players that can get the ball, and they don't really hurt players, hurt the opposition with their ball use. I think Matt Crouch is kind of that sort of accumulator. If we get him, hopefully it wouldn't be on a lot of money, not a big contract. I think we'd probably have other options outside of Matt Crouch if we don't get Jordan De Goey, to be honest. This one's from Jez, and it's not really a question, it's just a statement. Imagine getting pick 7 and pick 9. That'd be great. We've obviously already got pick 9, possibly pushed to pick 10 with father sons and all that stuff and academies. But pick 7 is an interesting one. That's with Jack Bowes, rumoured to be on the out with the Gold Coast Suns, thanks to his hugely back-ended contract, upwards of $800,000 a year over the last 2 years, I believe. And they're willing to part ways with pick 7 to get rid of Jack Bowes. So I've heard that potentially he's interested in going to Geelong, whether Geelong can take a bit of that salary and we can also take a bit of that salary as well as getting pick 7. We give them Ben Long and maybe a future second rounder. That'd be great because then we can obviously use pick 7 in the draft if we need. And then depending on how the Jordan De Goey stuff goes, people kind of get confused at how that is. It's not as if we can get him for nothing. Collingwood can still match our offer, and if Collingwood match our offer, they force us to a trade, which means then we probably have to part ways with pick 9 to get Jordan De Goey to the St Kilda Football Club. Some people think that if that's the case and they do that, we should just walk away and keep pick 9 and go for a young kid in the draft. Cam McKenzie's one that would be great. And then others think, part ways with pick 9, you get Jordan De Goey. So it would be very interesting to see what Collingwood do if Jordan is interested in going to St Kilda. And then obviously if we can get pick 7, that gives us a bit more flexibility at the draft. And also we can split picks, maybe even split picks with North Melbourne, who are actually keen on getting rid of pick 1. So whether we can maybe give them pick 7 and Hunter Clark and Brad Hill get pick 1 in return. I don't know. There are options there for us, but we've obviously got to get pick 7 to discuss that. So if we get pick 7 and pick 9, that'd be great. If not, we'll have pick 9 and hopefully we can work out another way around that and get some other first round picks elsewhere. So good questions there, Sanus. Thank you very much for that. A bit of a quick one today. Not a huge amount of news at the moment. Obviously, right after the granny, there never is. There'll be a lot of trade news dropping this week, I can imagine. Obviously, it's only Monday, so there's obviously 4 more days the rest of the week for news to drop. And if it does, Trade Talk will be there ready to go to give you all of the latest news on the St Kilda trade situation. Obviously, thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe, and you'll get notified on all future videos. And I'll be back hopefully next week for another Saints TV Weekly. But until then, Saints, take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll see you next week on Saints TV Weekly. Go Saints!